We are Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm an alcoholic that doesn't drink. I'm a drug addict that doesn't use, and I'm a dead man that walks amongst the living. That is by no righteous deed of my own, and my name is Fletch. Remember that.
Everybody remember that. And I'm just a girl who could never say no. My name's Joy Thomas. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We are Rated R for Recovery, RatedRforRecovery.com. You can hear us, hopefully, on the Facebook and pass us around and like us. Past shows are available on YouTube, iTunes Network. Thanks to Captain Brian at Captain Brian's Off the Hook Comedy Club at podcastcafelive.com and our own website that you can stream us live each and every Wednesday as we broadcast from this wonderful coffee house in Cape Coral, Florida called Studio 7 Cafe and Coffee Company on Del Prado Boulevard. And our website is ratedrforrecovery.com. We have had some issues with some past shows, but we're getting that corrected. So if you've been a guest on the show and haven't been able to hear yourself, that will be corrected as we speak. Well, probably not. Anyway, we also want to thank you all for joining us. We do this in front of a live studio audience, and to prove to the listeners at home that there is a live studio audience, would you please make some noise at this time? What do you think about that, Joy?
Redundant.
What? Did you say redundant?
Yeah, it's not a live studio audience.
It's not?
Or is it a dead studio audience? It's a studio audience, and they're all here, and we're really glad you're here. You're not redundant, but...
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, we have guests that are from the recovery field, either recovering people themselves or businesses, and then we do a musical segment each and every week, and we're proud to have MIndy Collins. Mindy, would you raise your hand? Mindy, give Mindy a nice round of applause. This will start one of many shows that will feature a segment on fitness, because when I came into recovery, I weighed 138 pounds and didn't have any teeth. So I needed some encouragement. I needed some health tips on what to do to get back to a kind of a physical betterment, I guess. A gentleman that I met years ago who was always a big guy. You always worked out. You need to talk to the microphone. Slide your microphone right up to you.
I've worked out off and on my whole life. Yeah.
Okay. You can pull the microphone so it's really comfortable for you. Our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rob and Andrea. They're husband and wife, and they own NEXTEP in Cape Coral.
What would that be?
Well, why don't we let them tell us what it is, first of all.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have 7 houses and 58 beds. 22 female beds and 36 male beds.
Okay, all right. And so how many houses is that again?
We have 7 recovery houses.
7 recovery houses. And how many are men's?
4 men,
and 3 women.
2 women.
And women's houses?
Yes.
No, 3
Okay.
women, my bad.
All right.
We're up to 3 women's houses now.
Okay.
We're about to open another one at the end of this
So
week.
you're just growing leaps and bounds. But it wasn't always a bed of roses, was it, Rob?
No, it was not. We actually started right up the street here about 5.5, 6 years ago with 1 house and 6 beds.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about personally for you.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a long road.
So, Rob and Andrea, you're both in recovery? Is that
Yes.
correct? Rob, tell us a little bit about your story. What it was like, what happened, and what you're like now.
My story. Drugs were my primary coping mechanism to life, and I've been in residential treatment 6 times. And I didn't get it the first time because I was 34 when I got clean. And,
How bad did it get?
It got bad. I mean, everybody's story is their worst because they had to live it. But it was basically, I thought I was one of those people who couldn't get recovery. I thought that there was something wrong with me because I saw people, because I went in and out for 16 years and watched people get it and smile and have genuine smiles and genuinely be happy, and I couldn't achieve that, and I thought there was something wrong with me.
Okay, and Andrea, how about yourself?
For me, it's pretty much the same thing. The getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. My addiction brought me to a place I never thought that I would go. I hurt everybody close to me. There was a point where I was homeless, and I used, Lee County Jail as a revolving door.
Oh, really?
Oh, I
We
did.
have a lot in common.
Yeah.
In fact, that's how I met your husband.
I have a question for Rob. When you said that you thought you were one of those people who just couldn't get it, but that ultimately you did. What do you think was either the culminating factor or why do you think that it finally happened? Was it just bound to sooner or later if you kept coming back?
I can remember, honestly, it was, I just caught charges again, and I didn't think, I was basically without hope. I woke up from an intentional overdose, and I couldn't believe I was breathing. Mm-hmm. And my solution didn't work anymore. And like I said, I thought there was something wrong with me. Why could these other people get it, but I couldn't?
Right.
And the answer was inside myself the whole time. I knew that I never did what the recovery program asked me to do.
Oh, all right.
I didn't work the program.
Okay.
And step work was the last thing I tried, and the first thing
that worked.
That's comforting.
Go ahead. No. Andrea, a bit of your experience in the depths of despair. Just so we can just qualify a little bit about what you were like. You said you used Lee County as a my address was 2501 Ortez Avenue for a long time, and so would you tell us a little bit about what you went through and how it affected your family?
I was pretty much just like an empty, soulless vessel at that point. There was no emotion. I was just completely numb, and I was in a state where I was comfortable being there, and I was comfortable being in jail. The one thing was I was very fortunate. I had a family that never gave up on me, but at the same time, I was no longer welcome in their home.
Right.
And, I kind of thought that was just the hand that I was dealt, and I didn't know that there was a better way to live out there. I didn't know about 12-step recovery. It was all brand new to me. That was just a normal way of life for me, is being in and out of jail and the things I had to do to get drugs and stealing any opportunity that I had. And I justified every bit of it. That was just the hand I was dealt.
What was the first inkling of there was a way out of this for you?
I was actually forced into recovery through the court system, and it was the best possible thing that could have happened to me. I am a drug court graduate.
Me too.
Yeah, and it brought me into 12-step recovery. I'm one of the few that we're one of the few that managed to stick around.
Right. Well, I think for me, drug court was a really big tool in my recovery. Yeah. I liked being told what to do a lot of times, even though you might not think so. I do well in structured environments where they're telling me what to do. Like in jail, I never really got in trouble in jail because I did what they told me to do. And there was ample opportunities to get drugs and alcohol in jail, and I figured this is the last place I want to get high. So
I could never follow all the rules.
No?
Just couldn't do
it. And I probably, this might be myself lying to me in my head, but still, drug court held me accountable. I entered it in October of 2008 and graduated in November of 2009. And that was put me on my road to recovery. Yep. So Rob, when I met you, you were sober when the last time you got locked up, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and it was just wreckage of your past that you had to somehow
driving on a suspended license, going to speak at a meeting.
Oh, really? Oh, so right.
Well, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes, after we're sober, we still have to either clean up some wreckage or things happen, and we still have to be accountable, like you said.
Okay. Now, how did you two meet?
In the rooms.
Okay, of one of the fellowships,
yes.
I'm assuming. Okay.
She 13-stepped me.
She did. Yeah, I'm sure it was all her. I'm sure, knowing you, it was all her.
Ask her.
Okay. All right. Was it you?
I wasn't going to meetings for the right reasons. We'll just put it that way.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but somehow this union worked out.
Yes.
You're married. You have a child.
Correct.
Yes.
Right. How old's the baby?
It'll be a year, August 4th.
Really? It's that long? Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
So how much sobriety did you have?
I'm actually going to be celebrating 4 years on this upcoming Monday.
All right, so at least one of you had some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was brand new.
When you met, how much sobriety did you have?
I was brand new. He had 2 years.
So don't blame it all on her, you freak.
Thank you. I am an innocent bystander here. But
No,
I was
you're not.
brand new.
No, you're not. But anyway, this takes two to tango. I know that better than anybody. So, so now, Next Step. What are some of the rules you have to follow when you come into Next Step? How do you get in there, first of all?
You call.
Yeah.
Basically, we have an 11 o'clock curfew. We have to do a 90 and 90 meetings in 90 days, get a sponsor within 2 weeks, home group with a service commitment by the end of the month. Basically, I want my men and women to get into recovery. You know, I don't like hypocrisy. I don't ask people to do anything that I don't do.
Right.
To actually get in, though, we require a clean UA. You have to be clean. You have to be able to, have below zeros on a breathalyzer. That's definitely important. And we screen people to see where their willingness is. We make it very clear we're not there for 3 hots and a cot. You need to want this.
And so it means you may have to do a little detox first or
Absolutely.
whatever.
Right. That would be the only
It
way I
depends.
pass the UA.
Yep. Case by case basis. Yep.
Right, because that I don't know if you heard me. That's the only way I'd pass a UA. If I came to your door and said, "Please help me," and you said, "You got to pee clean," and go away and come back until you can, you got to lock me up someplace because that's what I did. So that's all I knew what to do. There's a lot of old timers in different fellowships that say, "Just don't drink" or "Just don't use." I didn't know how to do that. I did not know how to do that. Rob, if I come to your door and I'm clean, I can pass the urinalysis, but I don't have a dime. I weigh 135 pounds. I got no clothes. What do you do for me? What?
I remember.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, what do you do for people like me?
If I have availability and you have the willingness, you get a bed.
Yeah. What's your biggest challenge?
all the personalities. As far as the residents living in our house, I would have to say everyone has a roommate. I always hear the most common thing with the women is I don't know how to get along with women.
Yeah.
But I do have to say that I have more of the dramatics with the women than I do the men. But for the most part, they are learning to get along.
Does each house have a house manager?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so those rules are set in stone. What if I relapse when I'm living there? What happens then?
You're discharged.
Discharged immediately. No questions asked. Pack your stuff and go. Can I come back?
In 7 days.
7 days. Where do I go, Rob? What do I do? Help me.
Generally, most people don't come back after 7 days because, unfortunately, we have the disease of addiction, and once we light the candle,
right,
we're gone.
How if I relapse and I come to you and say, Rob, I screwed up last night. I used.
It's here again. It's a case-by-case basis. I actually brought someone in my house before I put them back in my recovery house.
Okay. All right. Well,
honesty goes a long way with us.
Yeah.
I will say
Oh,
that.
sure it does.
Absolutely.
Sure it does.
The 3 basic principles. I think at first people talk about honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And honesty is will get you a step down the road if you're just willing to just tell it like it is and to finally, like you said, be accountable and help, allow someone to help you.
And if I'm being honest with you, I don't have to worry about all the stuff I've told because the story's always the same.
Yeah.
And everything comes to the light. Rob, give us the correct spelling of Next Step, first of all, because it's kind of one of those things that you think it's NEXTSTEP, and it's not. So would you tell our studio audience and the listeners at home how to spell it?
It's NEXTEP.
Okay. And what's the website?
It's www.thenextep.org. Okay.
And you have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do.
And the best way to get a hold of you is through the website, through the Facebook page, and there's contact information there.
Correct.
Okay. Joy, have we left anything out?
I don't know. Is there anything that you would like to say to someone listening about either trying to get sober or if they're looking for a place?
Basically, I don't really know. Just try this way of life. I didn't know it was out there. And hit a meeting and reach out as much as you can, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Right. You seem to have. Is there more empathy through Andrea than there is through you? You've been doing this a while. We have a mutual friend named Gary who doesn't really have any empathy for anyone, but yet when you get to know him, he does. So yes. I'm just talking about the outside. I probably phrased that wrong. So Gary has a lot of empathy. So if you know who I'm talking about.
Well, I know what you mean.
But it's that no-nonsense approach is what I meant. And he is a no-nonsense guy. Are you the same?
Yes and no. I haven't. She's actually commented on my tolerance for newcomers. That why don't I have the same amount of the same amount of tolerance in other areas of my life because I expect bad behavior in the beginning. Like myself, for instance, I went to jail in recovery. Just because we walked through the doors of a 12-step fellowship doesn't mean all our bad behaviors go away. Ask anyone who's worked a thorough 6 and 7 year after year after year after year. It takes practice.
Oh, yeah.
And even with practice, we still
fall short. We all fall short. We all fall short. My character defects are...
And again, you know, for me, it's that honesty that can't be faked. It's that thing that happens when they say, don't leave before the miracle happens. You know, when something happens and you're truly changed, you have that psychic change, people can see it. And you allow yourself to be teachable, to let someone lead and follow in their steps and to work the program. And even though we stumble along the way and still have our problems, that's something that I think that we hold out as hope for anybody.
You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRForRecovery.com. Our guests in our first segment has been Rob and Andrea, husband and wife that own and operate Next Step in Cape Coral. Give them a nice round of applause. We are going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we have criminal defense attorney Brian Edwards as our guest. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRForRecovery.com. That's what
the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Get your sweet on at CW Fudge Factory. With more than 20 varieties of fudge and even more hand-dipped chocolates made on site, you are sure to find a flavor you like. Not sure about a flavor? Try a free sample. Need a chocolate platter or a gift basket featuring local gifts and novelties for a special occasion? We have those too. CW Fudge Factory, open every day, located at 4548 Pine Island Road in Matlacha, across from the post office. Visit CW Fudge Factory and get your sweet on.
Everyone knows if you want to catch fish, you've got to use the right bait. Crazy Lure is Cape Coral's premier saltwater and freshwater bait and tackle shop, featuring the best name brands in soft plastics, hard baits, and terminal tackle, plus the largest selection of fresh and frozen baits. And Crazy Lure is your fishing license headquarters, new, out-of-state, or renewals. Open every day at 6 a.m. Crazy Lure, just off Cape Coral Parkway, 4849 Vincent Street in the Cape. Before you hit the water, go crazy at Crazy Lure Bait and Tackle.
That's going to leave a mark. But not if you bring your vehicle to DHAB, your automotive rehab. Your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, DHAB can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. DHAB, your automotive rehab, is located at 2534 Highland Street, one block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bent, call DHAB, your automotive rehab at 332-1813.
Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934. Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering, 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers.
Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Bust a gut laughing at Off the Hook Comedy Club inside Captain Brian's Seafood and Raw Bar. For tickets, call 239-389-6900. That's 389-6900. Or visit offthehookcomedy.com. Off the Hook Comedy Club inside Captain Brian's Seafood and Raw Bar. Enjoy the best raw bar in Southwest Florida and a menu of delicious entrees like juicy prime rib and the best seafood, period. Located at 599 South Collier Boulevard, Suite 218 on Marco Island, across from the Hilton Hotel. Visit offthehookcomedy.com.
J&J Appliance Repair, Inc. is a Christ-centered company of 3 years. We operate our company using God's golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. That is honestly, dependably, and as quickly as possible at a fair price. That's just what we do. With 30-plus years experience, we keep updated through continuing education. We repair all makes and models, as well as install dishwashers and hot water tanks. There's vent cleaning, which includes the dryer. We're family-owned and operated, insured, licensed, and service Lee County. Call 239-440-4452.
When it comes to your vehicle, 2 words are all that really matters. Reliable and honest. And that is AJ Auto Repair. Located at 15580 McGregor Boulevard in Fort Myers, AJ Auto Repair has been servicing Lee County for over 20 years. Stop in anytime for a free estimate, like us on Facebook, or call us at 432-2882. That's 432-2882. Remember, for fast, friendly, reliable, honest service, it's AJ Auto Repair. AJ Auto Repair, your one-stop auto repair headquarters. Honest and reliable. Are you, a friend, or even a family member, or just someone you know, looking to buy a home in this tropical paradise? From first-time home buyer to investor, Tiffany Packard has the resources you need to guide you through the purchasing process. Perhaps you have a home you're considering selling, or would like to know the value of. Maybe you want to build your dream home and watch as your vision becomes reality. Tiffany Packard can help you with all your real estate needs. Call Tiffany Packard at Myloff Abashan, 542-1075. That's 542-1075, or email Tiffany at myloffabashanrealty.com.
Feeling alone? Feeling lost? Feeling helpless? We're here to help.
I caught you knocking at my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done. I hit the city and I lost my band. I watched the needle take another man. Gone, gone, the damage done.
Notice I'm singing along. Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery at RatedRforRecovery.com. I'm Fletch, and the young lady next to me is Joy. We're your hosts and co-hosts for the show each and every Wednesday night here at Studio 7 Cafe and Coffee Company. We're so glad you can join us. You can listen to us live at www.ratedrforrecovery.com. You can also hear us on Facebook, past shows on... Can we hear them on the Facebook? We don't really hear the shows on Facebook, do we, Troy? Oh, we do. Okay, so you can hear some of them on the Facebook. Like us and share us. Past shows on YouTube, iTunes Network. Thanks to Captain Brian at Captain Brian's Off the Hook Comedy Club. Also, podcastcafelive.com. And our guest right now, as we return to the show, first of all, we want to thank the husband and wife team of Rob and Andrea who own NEXTEP. They were our first guest. And now that we're back from break, our guest is my friend and longtime supporter of the show, Brian Edwards. Give him a nice...
Seasoned veteran.
Yeah, he calls himself that. Brian was my defense attorney when I got jammed up and my sister had some money to pay for him, because I would not. Or I probably would have, but I needed the money for dope. So
and if he could help you, he could help anybody.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Brian.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And we have, well, first of all, what do you do?
Well, as you said, I do criminal defense. About 30 to 40% of my cases have something to do with drugs, or alcohol, DUIs, those type of things. And I try to help people right before they go into a program like NEXTEP. Usually I'm shoving them into a place like that if that's what they want.
Or drug court, you're familiar with.
Or drug court, or some, if they want the help.
Okay. And what is your, how long you been practicing? I love the fact, practicing law. You guys never get it, do you? You got to practice every day.
Yeah. John, I'll never get it. Fletch.
Okay. You can call me Fletch.
Yeah,
Brian.
okay. Fair enough. I have been practicing for just about 14 years. I was a prosecutor before I started helping people as a defense lawyer. I've done this for a little bit over 10 years. I have my own firm.
Right.
And, I've seen lots of things, and a lot of people have had different stories about, addiction and recovery. And some people just want to do their time and, keep getting out and using, and some people actually want help. So,
Can you tell if somebody really wants help or not?
usually within a few minutes.
Wow.
Okay. We got a whole list of questions. We're going to get right to the questions from the audience, and I think one of the best questions right now, because I always wondered why this happened to me too. If I get arrested and I get processed at the Lee County Jail, which is, by the way, for those of you listening in Alaska, we're broadcasting from Lee County, Florida. So if I get arrested, I'm processed in jail, they take my picture, and then when you Google my name, let's say charges get dropped, I go home, I get found not guilty, my mugshot is still up on the Lee County Jail website. Why is that?
You can thank what's called the Florida Sunshine Laws.
What is that called?
The Florida Sunshine Laws. Basically, everything, with the exception of a grand jury, is subjected to. That's why you can get, if you want to know what the governor gets paid, you can go to a website. Basically, anything, you can get emails from people.
So it's a matter of public record.
It's a matter of public record. There is a bill, from what I understand, that I believe a senator made that may come up that actually will change that. So if you are arrested, especially if you're not convicted of something.
Right, if you're not convicted.
Right.
And let's say they drop the charges. Even if they drop the charges, that still stays up there.
Well, you better hope you've never been arrested before, because then you can get
me?
your record. No, not you.
All
Not
right.
you.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. If you've never been arrested before, they arrest you and charges are dropped, you may be able to qualify to get your record expunged or sealed. However, if you've had one prior arrest, even if that one was dropped, the way the Florida laws are set up, you're not going to be able to get it removed. So,
Okay.
it's a
Just
problem.
another reason to make sure you always take a good picture.
How does one get their record expunged?
There is a process that's got to be done. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement has to approve your application. It's basically a lot of red tape. It takes 3 to 4 months, and if FDLE, which is the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, approves you,
Does it cost money?
of course. Yes, of course.
$1 million.
Yes. Not quite that much for you.
Okay. All right.
It does.
The next question is, are you affordable? How can I afford you?
I tell people I came from a big family. I wasn't born wealthy. I probably, unfortunately, take on some clients that I might not, some of my competitors might not otherwise,
Yeah.
I think you still have an outstanding bill, by the way.
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do.
Look, I try to be fair to people. I have to pay my bills. I have to pay my secretary. I have to pay for my advertising. I've got to pay for my rent. But I try to work with people, and it's a case-by-case scenario again.
Okay, so if I got a DUI and your bill is $10, I have $5, you'll work with me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, what do you like the most about your job?
I like, it just happened to me last week, and it happens 2 or 3 times a month where I get to call somebody and say, look, this is what we had hoped for all along. And you call and you say, look, here's what's going to happen. You're getting into diversion, which will lead to a dismissal, or they null-prost your case. it's something where, I mean, a lot of times they'll start crying. My secretary every once in a while likes to make a call. She'll hear me. She'll, can I do one? So, I'll say, go ahead and call John Smith and let him know. And then usually he'll call back to talk to me just to verify. But it's nice to see people have a stress relief. And I also see people like yourself get clean, which is also, I use your story a lot to people to help motivate. And it's not just you. I've had dozens of people who have live a sober life today.
Yeah. And I know from your past shows you've said that helping the families of these people has been
that's got to be the high and the low.
Well, the families don't understand a lot of times. They don't have the problem. They're dealing with the problem. And I really suggest that those families go to the Al-Anon meetings to get to learn about why their loved one has this disease. And trying to help them because they don't know what to do sometimes.
Sure.
And like our first guest, Andrea, said something about the fact that her family still loved her, but they would no longer, allow her to run havoc through their lives.
Right.
And sometimes you have to get to the point where that happens. You hope you don't have to, but sometimes tough love is the only way.
You had to personally deal with that in your family, I know, too.
I have.
You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. Hear us online live at www.ratedrforrecovery.com. Our current guest is Brian L. Edwards, attorney at law here in our local area. We're asking questions from the audience. Now, how do you determine whether to take a plea or not?
Again, it's a case-by-case evaluation. You have to first figure out, can the state prove the case? Because even though this show is about recovery, my job, even though it deals a lot with that, I still have to look at the black and white. Can the state prove the allegations? And sometimes what is in my client's best interest may not be in their own addiction best interest. But I have a job as a defense attorney, and a lot of times I'll disclose that up front to the family. Sometimes I can get a case dropped. And the family go, well, we want them getting recovery.
Right, and we're hoping that something would happen to stop them.
And unfortunately, I can't say, look, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and plea this out. In those cases, I'll usually say, look, here's where you can get help. Here's some options for you. But sometimes you have to plea. I mean,
statistics show that eyewitness testimonies are the least reliable. Is that true?
That is.
That's crazy. You had a client. Go ahead.
How is it still true that juries don't really believe that? I mean,
well, you can't get into statistics. You can't go in there and say, "Well, I couldn't bring an expert." That's not. It's not admissible, unfortunately, in court. Even though a lot of society knows that, you kind of have to hope they do. You have to bang on it. But that's a very true point. They don't know that. You have to convince. I've had a number of ones where I'm convinced that they were incorrect. And sometimes they believe they're correct. I mean, when you start telling yourself something, that's who it is, until you show them enough evidence that, maybe you're mistaken.
My very first felony arrest was aggravated battery at about 4 o'clock in the morning when we had run out of dope. And And
you were aggravated?
I was aggravated. Absolutely. Always a comedian in the group. Now check this out. I am not a big guy. I am not an imposing guy, and I'm not a physical guy. Would I rob you of your wallet? Absolutely. Help you look for it? Absolutely. But all the lights came on in the neighborhood when this melee started to happen, and more than one person said they saw me beat this person.
Oh.
I weighed 138 pounds. The person could have beat me. First of all, I didn't do it. They never showed up. Charges eventually got dropped. But I spent 2 months in jail until I got before a judge. Why did I spend that much time in jail?
Probably because you couldn't bond out.
Right. Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons, right? So what is the old adage? And one person says, "Are you really innocent till proven guilty?"
Well, everybody's entitled to the day in court, and you are entitled to bond as long as you're not on probation. If you're on probation, that doesn't apply. But if you're just sitting here, John Q. Citizen, and you're charged with a crime, in most cases, 95% of the time or greater, you're going to get a reasonable bond. I get a lot of calls from people, my son was arrested or my wife was arrested or whatever. Can you go to first appearance for me in the morning? And sure, if it's weekend, my wife will look at me and go, "Oh, God, you got to do that again." But it's part of it because you have to make sure that they have probable cause for the arrest, and they have to make sure that a reasonable bond has been set, because a lot of times you can save people money just by not getting whatever standard bond they have set. If you have circumstances which warrant a lower bond, you're able to go and argue that and sometimes successfully get a lower bond set.
Okay. Next question, and these are all anonymous from the audience. I've just been arrested for possession of cocaine. The police want to talk to me. What should I say?
I want to talk to my lawyer first. The police have a tendency sometimes to want to talk to people for the wrong reasons. Usually when it's drug charges, they will want you to work as an informant or a confidential testifying witness. And that should never be done through the police. It always should be done through the state attorney's office. And if you don't have the money for a private attorney, my suggestion is you talk to your public defender about going through the state, because they're going to use you. And there are some very good police officers out there. I have friends that are police officers. I have friends that are prosecutors. But there are some of these people who do things for the wrong reasons. They will just want to see how many arrests they can get. And it should never, ever be done just through the police itself, because A, you're not guaranteed anything, and B, you may be finding yourself in a compromising position. And that's actually been a problem I've seen around here a lot too frequently in the last 6 months or so.
Really?
Yes.
And so what I hear you saying is that if something happens to you, end up in jail, that being able to get a lawyer helps keep it more of a human incident, where you've got somebody looking out for your best interest, and you don't become just somebody shoved here and shoved there and in jail for 2 months because maybe there's a bond and maybe I can't pay it, and it just helps bring a little advocacy.
Right. Well, and all my clients are people. I mean, first and foremost, everybody deserves to be treated like a human and have their own rights protected. And like I said, if you can't afford an attorney, it's important. Don't just go to the police and give them what they want. You really, I would encourage you, most criminal defense lawyers, myself included, will give a free consultation. And so use that. You get free knowledge. You don't owe anything. If you can't afford it, you'll get quoted a fee. And if it's something you can work out, great. If you can't, you'll leave with a little bit of knowledge, and you'll also know what to tell your public defender if you have been deemed indigent. But do not go to the police on your own for any reason, no matter what they say. I would never, ever do that.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, well, you're listening to Rated R for Recovery, ratedrforrecovery.com. Our guest is Brian L. Edwards, a longtime friend and sponsor of the show. We're talking to him with questions from the audience. Is the prosecutor/defense attorney, you, really as much of a good old boys club as it's portrayed on television, where it seems like a lot of times that it's a game?
They sit down over lunch. They're eating lunch.
Yeah, they're eating lunch. They're having.
I'll give you this.
Yeah, right. Is that the way it is?
That's almost completely untrue. I wish it was sometimes. It would make my job a lot easier. I have these gray hairs for a reason.
Well, wait a minute. I remember one time where you were going to do something for me, and you said the prosecutor is a friend of mine.
Oh yeah. I mean, look.
I'm not trying to put him on the spot. No, right or wrong?
Well, absolutely. It's a good idea. I worked over there. I never forgot what it's like to be a prosecutor, and I treat people like I wanted to be treated. I know I gave better deals to the defense attorneys who treated me like a human being. And quite frankly, I'm good friends with most of them. There's a few of them, and in any batch of people, there's going to be a few of them who are...
Any job, any place where there are a lot of people.
But you got to remember, they're people too, and they're doing a job. And can we go out and have a trial and beat each other's throats and then go have a beer afterwards? Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we're people too. But it's not... I can't go up to somebody and go, hey, Dan, listen, he's mine. He's really a good friend of mine and really in a bad spot.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Now, if you give him reasons, legal reasons, you can.
Okay. We got time for two more questions. These are, this one says, do I really have the right to remain silent?
Absolutely, and I suggest you use it.
We touched on that earlier. And this is a great question.
Even in casual conversation sometimes.
This is a great question that a lot of us, as in recovery, once we stay clean and sober, come into this a lot. How do you Baker Act somebody?
It's actually very difficult, and it's a very short-term, response to something that's usually got a much bigger issue. To Baker Act somebody, you have to basically show that they are in fear of hurting themselves or others.
And that's immediate. That's not in the last 24 hours or over the last week.
In other words, if I say, I'm going to kill myself if you don't give me cocaine, that's an if. That's not an immediate. Now, if I hold a gun to my head and it appears that, then you can do it. But it's for 72 hours, folks. Usually long-term, mental health counseling or drug counseling or a combination of the two is what's needed in that. A Baker Act is a Band-Aid, and that's all it is.
And does a member have to do it, or can I just call and say I want a Baker Act Brian Edwards?
You don't have. It's usually family, but it doesn't. There's not a requirement. It is. There are sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's friends, neighbors, coworkers, etc.
Thank you very much. Is there? We'd like to give the audience and the listeners at home your contact information, please.
Sure. It's my website is www.fortmyerscriminallawfirm.com. If you Google my name, if you just go to Google and Google Brian Edwards, Fort Myers, it will come up. My phone number is 239-791-9463. I have an answering service 24 hours a day, even though I don't like people calling at 3 unless it's actual emergency. You can do it. And I have a Facebook page. If you go to Facebook, type in Law Office of Brian Edwards, you can find me, and please follow me.
And you can
put
also
your 3 a.m. questions there.
Yeah,
you can also find Brian at www.ratedrforrecovery.com, and he's also a current advertiser in a publication called The Biker Map, which comes out shortly. We want to thank Brian for taking the time to join us. Give a nice round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When we come back, we have some very special guests coming up next. Not that these haven't been special so far. We have more special guests. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery at ratedrforrecovery.com.
Not everyone has the luck of the Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Get your sweet on at CW Fudge Factory. With more than 20 varieties of fudge and even more hand-dipped chocolates made on site, you are sure to find a flavor you like. Not sure about a flavor? Try a free sample. Need a chocolate platter or a gift basket featuring local gifts and novelties for a special occasion? We have those too. CW Fudge Factory, open every day, located at 4548 Pine Island Road in Matlacha, across from the post office. Visit CW Fudge Factory and get your sweet on.
Everyone knows if you want to catch fish, you've got to use the right bait. Crazy Lure is Cape Coral's premier saltwater and freshwater bait and tackle shop, featuring the best name brands in soft plastics, hard baits, and terminal tackle, plus the largest selection of fresh and frozen baits. And Crazy Lure is your fishing license headquarters, new, out-of-state, or renewals. Open every day at 6 a.m. Crazy Lure, just off Cape Coral Parkway, 4849 Vincent Street in the Cape. Before you hit the water, go crazy at Crazy Lure Bait and Tackle.
That's going to leave a mark. But not if you bring your vehicle to DHAB, your automotive rehab. Your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, DHAB can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. DHAB, your automotive rehab, is located at 2534 Highland Street, 1 block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bent, call DHAB, your automotive rehab at 332-1813. Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934. Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering, 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers.
Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Bust a gut laughing at Off the Hook Comedy Club inside Captain Brian's Seafood and Raw Bar. For tickets, call 239-389-6900. That's 389-6900. Or visit OffTheHookComedy.com. Off the Hook Comedy Club inside Captain Brian's Seafood and Raw Bar. Enjoy the best raw bar in Southwest Florida and a menu of delicious entrees like juicy prime rib and the best seafood, period. Located at 599 South Collier Boulevard, Suite 218 on Marco Island, across from the Hilton Hotel. Visit OffTheHookComedy.com.
J&J Appliance Repair, Inc. is a Christ-centered company of 3 years. We operate our company using God's golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. That is honestly, dependably, and as quickly as possible at a fair price. That's just what we do. With 30-plus years experience, we keep updated through continuing education. We repair all makes and models, as well as install dishwashers and hot water tanks. There's vent cleaning, which includes the dryer. We're family-owned and operated, insured, licensed, and service Lee County. Call 239-440-4452.
When it comes to your vehicle, 2 words are all that really matters. Reliable and honest. And that is AJ Auto Repair. Located at 15580 McGregor Boulevard in Fort Myers, AJ Auto Repair has been servicing Lee County for over 20 years. Stop in anytime for a free estimate, like us on Facebook, or call us at 432-2882. That's 432-2882. Remember, for fast, friendly, reliable, honest service, it's AJ Auto Repair. AJ Auto Repair, your one-stop auto repair headquarters. Honest and reliable. Are you a friend or even a family member or just someone you know looking to buy a home in this tropical paradise? From first-time home buyer to investor, Tiffany Packard has the resources you need to guide you through the purchasing process. Perhaps you have a home you're considering selling or would like to know the value of. Maybe you want to build your dream home and watch as your vision becomes reality. Tiffany Packard can help you with all your real estate needs. Call Tiffany Packard at Myloff Abashan, 542-1075. That's 542-1075, or email Tiffany at MyLoffAbashanRealty.com.
Feeling alone? Feeling lost? Feeling helpless? We're here to help.
These chairs are like...
Whiskey bottles and brand new cars. Oak tree in my way. There's too much coke and too much smoke. Look what's going on inside you.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. I am one of your hosts. My name's Fletch.
Joy Thomas here.
And we are welcoming our live studio audience once again to Studio 7 Cafe and Coffee Company, located on Del Prado Boulevard in Cape Coral, Florida. And I use the state Florida because this is an internet radio show that's heard around the world.
Or worldwide.
We're worldwide. Yeah, we're worldwide. One of our guests previous to that, that song we just came in back from break was That Smell by Leonard Skinner off the Street Survivors album, which debuted in 1975, which was the last album before they had that terrible accident in the air that caused the death of the lead singer and backup singers and eventually caused the death of Billy Powell, too. But that song, we were able to have a couple of months ago, Rob Robinson, who is the producer of Leonard Skinner, as a guest here, and he did some songs, and we're looking forward to having future members of the band that still exists as guests on the show. We have that to look forward to. We are starting a new segment. By the way, you can hear us on RatedRforRecovery.com if you want to stream us live every Wednesday night. Past shows are available. Thanks to Captain Brian at Captain Brian's Off the Hook Comedy Club at podcastcafelive.com. Our next guest is going to be a regular on the show, sort of a fitness and nutrition guru who wasn't always that.
No, that's for sure.
She and I met years ago in mainstream radio, and she was a legend in Minneapolis St. Paul market in radio. You were on the air there for how many years?
Oh my goodness!
Well,
gracious.
good Lord, you're a seasoned veteran talking to the mic.
Gosh, I'm gonna say probably 20 years. 20 years.
And then you moved to Florida when?
I think it was like 299.
Did you have one of those radio names?
No, I used my name. I'm not afraid to say it.
All right.
Mindy.
Yeah, well,
Mindy Collins.
You had a good name.
I had a good name. People thought it was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a good time.
One of my program directors always called himself after names of roads and streets in the cities he lived in. Lee Daniels, for instance.
I remember Lee Daniels.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so we met in a local radio station. We worked together at 99X, did we, or no?
We did indeed.
Okay,
you were on the floor, though, there.
All right. But we did Florida Traffic Watch, which we did news or just traffic reports for all the stations.
And some news as well.
Yeah, we did news too.
Yes.
Yeah,
I had the squirt gun.
He doesn't remember that part.
Do you remember that, John?
No.
Fletch?
No.
Squirt gun?
No.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right. I was so bad off in my addiction that this place called Florida Traffic Watch, I slept there.
Yes.
And I would smoke crack and then get a couple hours of sleep, and they would come in and wake me up, and then go on the air with them.
Yeah, you were terrifically talented, but I remember John.
No, she said "were." You were.
No, you are. He still is. That's why I'm still here. But you had some interesting visitors that used to pull up in cars.
I bet.
And we'd be in the middle of a broadcast, and I'd say,
"Flacco's here."
Goodness, who is that?
Flacco's
person?
Here to see you.
Yeah.
Dred's here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now,
fun.
okay. So you witnessed me as a very thin man.
May I just call you the thin man because we had a good time.
You can call me anything you want.
I was a heavy gal then.
How much do you weigh?
Well, it's not like what I weigh right now.
No. How much did you weigh then?
But I will say I lost 180 pounds.
Wow.
So, thank you. And John was, when he talks about the thin man, he was the thin man, Joy. Like 130 pounds. You're still the thin man, but I was the big gal on the microphone. There I am.
There you are. Yeah. Yeah, and now you weigh a considerable amount. Well, 130 pounds, you said?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
all muscle.
When I worked with Mindy, I was 138, 40 pounds, and my teeth were rotting out of my head. And that's probably one of the reasons why we have Mindy on the show, is because she's turned her life around through many demons that she suffered as she was growing up.
Yes.
And weight problems that probably manifested itself from...
Well, in truth, I was attracted. First of all, I want to say this is a wonderful venue, Studio 7. And Pastor Al, it's just phenomenal. But the fact is, I came to watch Fletch and Joy at this show because whether a lot of you don't know it or not, eating and drugs and all that Chris Farley stuff, it's all related. We all do it for the same reason. Would you say we're stuffing something? We're trying to alter feelings. We think that whatever we consume is going to probably elicit some kind of pleasure. But in fact, when we're done, like in my case, like 3 Domino's pizzas at one time, I'm not exaggerating, it kind of makes you depressed. And then all of a sudden you're feeling really, like I used to call it the food hangover.
Mm-hmm.
And quite literally, you wake up the next day and you're just like, you're lethargic, you feel guilty. Why can't I get my crap together? It's no different than drugs. Food, drugs, gambling, all of those vices are the very same, if you ask me. What do you guys think?
What does Joy think?
Oh, yeah, it's totally true. And, I guess in life, they say, all things in moderation. And so if you realize that you're not moderating, then it starts showing up in other areas of your life. And when it begins to affect your life, then it's a problem.
Definitely.
Mindy is now a personal trainer, and her purpose on the show, when she comes on, whether it be each week or whenever she feels like stopping by, she'll be part of the staff on the show, that she's going to talk to us a little bit about nutrition and maybe a fitness tip of the day.
And the audience will all have to exercise. Let's all get up.
Yeah.
You know what? You're lucky I don't do that with her.
Well, we don't have the time for that.
All right, not this week.
All right, so what would you recommend? I just get all right. Brian Edwards has just posted my bond or gotten me a bond, and I'm out of jail. Brian, are you still here? By the way, no. All right. And so I've just posted my bond, and I weigh 138 pounds.
Right.
My stomach is probably shrunken. I am dehydrated. What's the first thing I need to do?
Probably, I always tell folks, you want to take it slow. What do I mean by that? It's probably, Fletch, that you need a little sleep, right?
Right, absolutely.
Obviously, everyone should be drinking a lot of water. This is sort of no-brainer stuff, but the big thing is sleep. You wouldn't believe how much that helps a person heal both in their mind and in their body. The other thing is probably 99% of addicts are in some way suffering from malnutrition. Absolutely.
Yes.
Positively. You can see it on their face. You can see it on their body.
Color of their skin.
The color of their skin, for heaven's sakes. And may I say, Fletch, you look just marvelous.
Thank you.
He does. He's a handsome man.
Jeez.
But
Right.
the fact of the matter is, you probably need a good meal. And I don't mean, in all seriousness, I don't mean McDonald's. I mean, we need to take it back to the basics.
And what does that mean? What are the basics?
Well, it all depends on whether or not you have any knowledge of the basic four.
Okay, but I'm asking your help. What do you say what are the basic four?
The basic four, basically, you want some protein, you want a good amount of veggies and fruit because your body's probably completely depleted
Right.
of vitamin C, vitamin B, every vitamin you can think of. You need to get on a multivitamin, but I will say this, you just need to take it slow.
Okay. Now, so that's the first step. So we get to put some water in us, rehydrate ourselves, get us back into some protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, and that nature. Now, you take a guy that comes into recovery at the age of 51 years old,
Right.
who has never exercised in his life.
Okay.
What does he start to do?
Who might that
Or
be?
she? Well, yeah. Go. I'll
Isn't
give
this
you a guess.
supposed to be anonymous?
I'll give you a guess. What do I do? What do I start doing? What are the baby steps into getting back into some sort of shape?
Okay, and I think Joy can kind of concur and help me out on this one. You need to, first of all, stretch. Just stretch. A lot of people think they're scared. They think they have to go running around the block and whatnot. You want to take it slow, feel your body, and stretch. Because can you touch your toes, Fletch?
No, I can if I'm this way.
Let me see.
I'm doing it right now.
Sitting in the chair.
No, can I stand up straight and bend over it
You
without
can't?
bending my knees and touch my toes? Absolutely not. I can't.
can.
In fact, my
Can you?
arms go down to about my knees.
We'll talk.
Oh yeah. We'll
But
talk.
you need to stretch, and here's the thing too. A lot of you would probably go along with the fact that if you are consuming drugs and a little bit too much food, there might be an oral issue. If you're smoking cigarettes, you don't want to try to do too much at one time. But again, you want to sleep and try to stretch, and you want to increase your cardiovascular health.
Okay, all right.
Begin by walking.
Yes.
Yeah, walking. That's what I'm told
She's
to do
a
by my
lovely gal.
doctor. I'm supposed to walk and drink water, and I do neither of it.
Oh, I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, that's right. Just like recovery.
I need
Anyway,
to
our
talk to
guest
both
is
of
Mindy
you.
Collins. We're talking to her about nutrition facts. You're listening to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. Mindy, before you go, and this is going to be little segments each week, and
Indeed.
we'll go from here.
Let's do it.
Give
I
us
have
some
one question.
Yeah.
Can't exercising also become an addiction?
That's a really good question. The answer is, Joy, yes. But
Did it become an addiction for you?
it did. It did. It started out as my wanting to, kind of get in a size that's, you can, that's a single digit. But it then turned into some place that I felt was a sanctuary, much like places of recovery and things. The gym became my sanctuary, and I took it from losing weight to bodybuilding. But is that a good addiction? Is painting or reading a good addiction?
Well,
is the gym? The
Well,
answer is yes.
And again, I would say that if it becomes a problem for you, if you can't get out of the gym to have another part of your life, or if you're anything to excess can be harmful to you. That's kind of what I was getting at.
And I would say, I would go
Yeah.
back to how I was taught. Step one says me, and I'll phrase it this way: I am powerless over working out, and my life has become unmanageable. If my life is in the gym and I neglect my children, my husband, my
There you
job,
go.
my life is unmanageable. And it's the same thing as cocaine, alcohol. Like you said, you started that way out. So if I'm powerless over it and my life's unmanageable, I need to look at myself. Mindy,
That's
give
a
us
good
your
question.
contact information.
My contact information right now, I work out of Anytime Fitness on McGregor. And my contact information, you can call me 239-321-3159. I have a website you can contact me on. It's in the process of under construction right now, but it's Dumbbell Doll, hello, .com. And don't try to take that name because it's trademarked.
Okay, good enough. Our guest has been Mindy Collins. You'll also be able to find her. Troy will have a link from us to her at some point. From our no, he's a troublemaker.
I work. My specialty is everybody, but I work with folks that have had eating disorders, much like I have. Also, people that are 50 plus pounds to lose, and I believe it or not, I work with a lot of men that want to get larger muscles and things like that. So I guess everybody.
Right. Well, once again, our guest has been Mindy Collins, Dumbbell Doll Fitness, and give us a round of applause for joining us. We'll be right back with our musical guest,
Not
Travis
everyone
Petersen,
has the
after
luck of
this.
The Irish. If a friend or family member is in trouble, call Shamrock Bell Bonds. Put our number into your phone, 239-332-2245, 239-332-2245, or go online at gobailmeout.com. Shamrock Bell Bonds provides fast, reliable service. Shamrock Bell Bonds, 1528 Broadway, downtown Fort Myers. Look for the Shamrock, and maybe luck will be on your side.
Get your sweet on at CW Fudge Factory. With more than 20 varieties of fudge and even more hand-dipped chocolates made on site, you are sure to find a flavor you like. Not sure about a flavor? Try a free sample. Need a chocolate platter or a gift basket featuring local gifts and novelties for a special occasion? We have those too. CW Fudge Factory, open every day, located at 4548 Pine Island Road in Matlacha, across from the post office. Visit CW Fudge Factory and get your sweet on.
Everyone knows if you want to catch fish, you've got to use the right bait. Crazy Lure is Cape Coral's premier saltwater and freshwater bait and tackle shop, featuring the best name brands in soft plastics, hard baits, and terminal tackle, plus the largest selection of fresh and frozen baits. And Crazy Lure is your fishing license headquarters, new, out-of-state, or renewals. Open every day at 6 a.m. Crazy Lure, just off Cape Coral Parkway, 4849 Vincent Street in the Cape. Before you hit the water, go crazy at Crazy Lure Bait and Tackle.
That's going to leave a mark. but not if you bring your vehicle to DHAB Your Automotive Rehab. Your one-stop shop for all auto body work and paint. No job too big or small. With over 25 years experience, DHAB can make your vehicle look like the accident never happened. DHAB Your Automotive Rehab is located at 2534 Highland Street, one block off Edison Avenue in Fort Myers. So if you have a scratch, ding, dent, or bend, call DHAB Your Automotive Rehab at 332-1813.
Have you been considering a kitchen renovation or bathroom remodeling? There's no one better to call than the professionals at Honey's Construction. Value, beauty, and functionality. Get the right design for your kitchen or bathroom and add significant value to your home. Call Honey's Construction today at 229-4934 for a free in-home consultation. Honey's Construction's purpose and mission is to fulfill dreams and to be grateful for the many blessings we enjoy each and every day. 229-4934. Get the taste of home while eating out. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. Open daily for breakfast and lunch and located at 2400 First Street in downtown Fort Myers. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering specializes in homemade soups, salads, sandwiches, and desserts. And Gwendolyn's has been rated 5 stars by Urban Spoon and Yelp. Get the taste of home while dining out. Or let us bring the taste of home to your home with our free delivery. Gwendolyn's Cafe and Catering. 2400 First Street, downtown Fort Myers.
Every Friday night at 6:45 p.m., experience Celebrate Recovery at Grace Church at 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral. The purpose of Celebrate Recovery is to encourage fellowship and to celebrate God's healing power in our lives as we work our way along the road to recovery. By working through the 12 steps and 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, we grow spiritually and we are freed from our hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Celebrate Recovery every Friday night at 6:45 p.m. at Grace Church, 13 Southeast 21st Place in Cape Coral.
Have you been charged with a crime? You could face serious penalties for conviction, and it is vitally important that you have skilled legal assistance on your side during this time. Call Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law today. 888-512-6254. Results matter. With a track record of success, our methods are tried and true. Mistakes happen, but we can help. Brian L. Edwards, Esquire, Attorney at Law. Visit FortMyersCriminalLawFirm.com or call 888-512-6254.
Bust a gut laughing at Off the Hook Comedy Club inside Captain Brian's Seafood and Raw Bar. For tickets, call 239-389-6900. That's 389-6900. Or visit OffTheHookComedy.com. Off the Hook Comedy Club inside Captain Brian's Seafood and Raw Bar. Enjoy the best raw bar in Southwest Florida and a menu of delicious entrees like juicy prime rib and the best seafood, period. Located at 599 South Collier Boulevard, Suite 218 on Marco Island, across from the Hilton Hotel. Visit OffTheHookComedy.com.
J&J Appliance Repair, Inc. is a Christ-centered company of 3 years. We operate our company using God's golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. That is honestly, dependably, and as quickly as possible at a fair price. That's just what we do. With 30-plus years experience, we keep updated through continuing education. We repair all makes and models, as well as install dishwashers and hot water tanks. There's vent cleaning, which includes the dryer. We're family-owned and operated, insured, licensed, and serviced Lee County. Call 239-440-4455.
When it comes to your vehicle, 2 words are all that really matters: reliable and honest. And that is AJ Auto Repair. Located at 15580 McGregor Boulevard in Fort Myers, AJ Auto Repair has been servicing Lee County for over 20 years. Stop in anytime for a free estimate, like us on Facebook, or call us at 432-2882. That's 432-2882. Remember, for fast, friendly, reliable, honest service, it's AJ Auto Repair. AJ Auto Repair, your one-stop auto repair headquarters. Honest and reliable. Are you a friend or even a family member or just someone you know looking to buy a home in this tropical paradise? From first-time home buyer to investor, Tiffany Packard has the resources you need to guide you through the purchasing process. Perhaps you have a home you're considering selling or would like to know the value of. Maybe you want to build your dream home and watch as your vision becomes reality. Tiffany Packard can help you with all your real estate needs. Call Tiffany Packard at Myloft Abashan, 542-1075. That's 542-1075, or email Tiffany at myloftabashanrealty.com. Feeling alone? Feeling lost? Feeling helpless? We're here to help.
whiskey bottle and brand new car. Oh, you're in my way. There's too much.
Welcome back to Rated R for Recovery and RatedRforRecovery.com. Once again, hear past shows on iTunes, Facebook. Thanks to Captain Brian at Captain Brian's Off the Hook Comedy Club at podcastcafelive.com. And listen to us live every week at RatedRforRecovery.com. We get to the point of our show where we have a musical segment. Our guest is Travis. Travis, you are in recovery yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And how long have you been on the road to recovery?
I don't think that. There we go. I'm coming back. I had 9 months clean and went out and seen if I could manage it myself, life, and it didn't work. So I'm back at it again, alive.
You're currently residing at the Life House, which is a men's sober house living facility owned by our friend Jared.
Yes.
And they have 2 houses now. Why don't do you know the contact information for the Life House that you can give our studio audience and our listeners at home?
I don't know Jared's phone number by heart, but
we don't need his phone number. Actually, the easiest way to do it, ladies and gentlemen, is just go to RatedRforRecovery.com. There's a link to the Life House right on that page.
Mm-hmm. That's easy.
Yeah, that was real easy. Yeah, thanks, Joy. How are you, Joy?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
We're still here.
We are.
This is my favorite part.
This is my favorite part too,
right.
actually, and not that we don't
Right.
gain a lot of experience, and we have wonderful guests on. I just love music. That's why I say that, and I know Joy does too. Travis, you are going to do 2 songs for us. Tell us a little bit about the first one.
I'm gonna do Bleed Red. It's done by Ronnie Dunn. He does a little slower, so I kind of change it up. I put my own little spin on
we
it.
like that.
And
what's the song about?
It's, if you listen to the words, like the chorus, it simply says that, we all bleed red. We all cry tears. We all feel a pain, but it doesn't have to be like that. This is life. We're all together. We all feel the same thing. Might not understand it at the time, but we've all been in there.
Have at it, young man. Travis, everybody, give him a nice round of applause.
Let's say we're sorry, for it's too late. If forgiveness a chance, turn the anger into water, let it slip through our hands. Y'all bleed red, y'all taste rain. We all fall down and lose our way. We all say words we regret. We all cry tears. We all bleed red. If we're fighting, we're both losing. We're just wasting our time. Because my scars, they are your scars, and your world is mine. We all bleed red, we all taste rain. We all fall down and lose our way. We all say words we regret. We all cry tears. We all bleed red. were sorry, for it's too late. Give forgiveness a chance.
Well, that was beautiful.
Very nice. Would you grace us with one more song?
Yep.
And why don't you give us a little preview of this one?
I've been debating between these two songs if I wanted to do a more upbeat one or maybe a little slower one, but I think I'm gonna go with a song that's done originally by Luke Bryan. It's called "Drink a Beer," but I like to change it up and say a prayer. But he made this song for his brother and his sister that passed away, and so this is one of his hits.
Okay.
One of many hits.
One of many hits. One of many hits that you're about to release under another label called and another title called "Say a Prayer," which is very easily done. But we'll get to that later. Go ahead.
All right. When I got the news today, I didn't know what to say, so I just hung up the phone. Took a walk to clear my head. This is where the walking led. Can't believe you're really gone. Don't feel like going home. I'm gonna sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear. And say a prayer. Funny how the good ones go too soon, but the good Lord knows reasons why, I guess. Sometimes a greater plan is too hard to understand. Right now it don't make sense. Can't make it all make sense. I'm gonna sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear. And say a prayer. So long, my friend, until we meet again. And I'll remember